Have you ever wondered about the ancient civilizations that once flourished in Tanzania? Let's journey back in time, to lands inhabited by indigenous hunter-gatherer societies. These early communities, deeply rooted in the land, thrived for millennia, their lives woven into the fabric of Tanzania's natural landscapes. As time passed, coastal city-states began to emerge, like Kilwa and Zanzibar. These bustling hubs of commerce and culture were points of convergence where people from different lands met, traded, and shared ideas. Here, a unique culture began to take form: the Swahili culture. Born from the intermingling of African, Arab, and Indian Ocean influences, the Swahili culture became a vibrant testament to the power of cultural exchange. These ancient societies, with their diverse cultures and ways of life, laid the foundation for Tanzania's rich and diverse cultural history. They were the first threads in a tapestry that would continue to be woven over the centuries, crafting the nation we know today as Tanzania. In the 15th century, a new chapter in Tanzania's history began with the arrival of European explorers and traders. This period was marked by the adventurous spirit of men like Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer who led the first fleet around Africa to India. His voyage not only opened up a new sea route for trade with the East, but also brought the Portuguese to the East African coast. The Portuguese, eager for new opportunities, quickly established trade routes along the coast. These routes became invaluable for the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. Interaction with local communities was inevitable, leading to a fusion of cultures, languages, and traditions. This was a time of exploration, discovery, and trade, but also of exploitation and conflict. The impact of these encounters was profound, shaping the region's socio-economic landscape and leaving an indelible mark on its cultural fabric. This period of exploration and trade set the stage for the next phase of Tanzania's history. The Omani Sultanate of Zanzibar had a significant influence on Tanzania's history. This influence was not only political but also cultural and social, shaping the unique blend of cultures we see in Tanzania today. During the 19th century, Zanzibar, under Omani rule, developed into a thriving hub of trade and commerce. But this prosperity had a dark side. It facilitated the growth of a brutal slave trade, with African men, women, and children forcibly transported to work in far-off lands. This grim trade was a significant, albeit regrettable, part of the region's economic history. Yet, the Omani Sultanate also fostered a rich cultural exchange. Arabs, Africans, and Indians interacted, traded, and intermingled, leading to a vibrant fusion of customs, traditions, and ideas. This cultural melting pot is evident in the unique Swahili culture, a blend of African, Arab, and Indian influences, particularly visible in areas like Zanzibar. The Omani Sultanate's rule left a lasting impact on Tanzania's cultural and social fabric, a testament to the deep-rooted connections between these diverse communities. In the late 19th century, Tanzania came under the rule of colonial powers. The region, rich in resources and strategically situated, caught the attention of Germany. The Germans established their colony, known as German East Africa, encompassing present-day Tanzania, Rwanda, and Burundi. This period was marked by economic exploitation, with the colonial rulers profiting from the region's resources and labor. However, the winds of change blew across the world stage with the onset of World War I. The British, seizing the opportunity, occupied German East Africa. Post-war, the League of Nations formalized this arrangement, establishing Tanganyika as a British mandate. The British colonial rule, while distinct from the German, was not without its own set of challenges. It was a time of significant change, with the introduction of new administrative structures, economic systems, and social norms. Colonial rule brought profound changes to Tanzania, setting the stage for a struggle for independence. Resistance to colonial rule in Tanzania culminated in the Maji Rebellion. This rebellion was a significant anti-colonial uprising that took place between 1905 and 1907, against German rule. The Maji Rebellion was not just a reaction to the harsh conditions of colonial rule, but a powerful affirmation of unity among the diverse ethnic groups in Tanzania. At the heart of this resistance was the charismatic spiritual leader Kinjeketile Ngwale, who rallied the people with a vision of a liberated and united Tanzania. His teachings inspired many to take up arms, sparking a widespread revolt that shook the foundations of German East Africa. Despite its tragic end, the Maji Rebellion was a turning point in Tanzania's history, as it fostered a sense of shared struggle and identity among the people. The spirit of resistance ignited by the Maji Rebellion would fuel Tanzania's fight for independence. Tanganyika's path to independence was marked by peaceful transition. Julius Nyerere, a charismatic leader with a vision for a united and self-reliant nation, led the charge. Under his guidance, the Tanganyika African National Union, or TANU, played a pivotal role in the struggle for independence. Nyerere's persuasive diplomacy and non-violent approach in negotiations with the British proved successful. In the early 60s, the winds of change were blowing across Africa, and Tanganyika was no exception. In 1961, the British flag was lowered, and the Tanganyikan flag was raised, symbolizing the dawn of a new era. This peaceful transition to independence was a testament to Nyerere's leadership and the resilience of the Tanganyikan people. It was a moment of immense pride and joy, but also a moment of reflection on the long journey that had led to this point. Tanganyika's independence marked a new chapter in Tanzania's history. In 1964, Tanganyika and Zanzibar united to form the United Republic of Tanzania. This wasn't just a merging of territories, but a marriage of cultures, histories, and aspirations. Not surprisingly, the union came with its fair share of challenges. Nation building in any context is a complex endeavor. It involves the weaving together of diverse people and places into a cohesive whole. In Tanzania's case, the task was even more complex due to the different colonial histories of Tanganyika and Zanzibar. The promotion of Swahili as a national language was a critical part of this nation-building process. It served as a unifying force, helping to bridge the cultural and historical differences between the two regions. Swahili became a symbol of national identity, a shared language that transcended regional and ethnic divisions. The union marked the birth of the modern Tanzanian state. It was a pivotal moment in the country's history, laying the foundation for the Tanzania we know today. Julius Nyerere's socialist policies shaped Tanzania's post-independence trajectory. As the first president of Tanzania, Nyerere introduced the concept of Ujamaa, translating to familyhood in Swahili. This philosophical approach aimed to foster a sense of community and collective responsibility, promoting the notion that every Tanzanian was part of a larger family. Ujamaa wasn't just a social ideal, it was also an economic strategy. Nyerere rolled out villagization programs, relocating millions of rural dwellers into newly established villages. The goal was to modernize the agrarian economy, improve living standards, and promote self-reliance. However, these ambitious policies faced challenges. The forced relocations were met with resistance, and the economic outcomes did not always meet expectations. Despite these setbacks, Nyerere's vision of a united, self-reliant Tanzania shaped the nation's identity and development policies for decades to come. Nyerere's policies left a lasting impact on Tanzanian society and economy. His legacy continues to influence the nation's socio-political discourse, and remains a cornerstone of Tanzania's national narrative. Tanzania played a crucial role in supporting African liberation movements. This East African nation stood as a beacon of hope for countries struggling under the yoke of oppressive regimes. Front and center was Tanzania's support for the African National Congress, or ANC, the main opposition to apartheid in South Africa. Tanzania did not limit its assistance to South Africa alone. The winds of change that swept across the continent found a sympathetic ally in Tanzania. The country provided support for liberation struggles in Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Namibia. It offered a safe haven, logistics, and moral support, bolstering the efforts of these countries to shake off the chains of colonial rule. But Tanzania's support went beyond mere politics. It embodied its commitment to Pan-Africanism, a philosophy that advocates for solidarity among all African states. It was a clear statement of Tanzania's belief in the right to self-determination and the intrinsic value of African unity. Tanzania's support for liberation movements demonstrated its commitment to African unity and independence. In the 1990s, Tanzania underwent significant political and economic transformations. The winds of change swept through the country, leading to the end of a single-party rule and the dawn of political pluralism. The Tanzanian constitution was amended to allow multiple political parties, sparking a lively and competitive political scene that continues to this day. Simultaneously, the economy took a decisive turn. The government, under the leadership of President Benjamin Mkapa, embarked on a series of economic reforms. The focus shifted from state-controlled policies to embracing market-oriented strategies. These changes included the liberalization of trade and investment, the privatization of state-owned enterprises, and the reduction of public expenditure. The impact of these reforms was profound. Tanzania's economy became more robust, more dynamic, and more integrated with the global economy. The country witnessed significant growth rates and improvements in living standards, albeit unevenly distributed. These reforms marked a new era in Tanzania's development. Today, Tanzania faces a number of challenges and opportunities. Like many nations, poverty and corruption are persistent issues that require ongoing attention. Infrastructure development remains a significant task, as the country strives to improve its road networks, public transport, and access to utilities like water and electricity. Environmental conservation is another major concern, with efforts underway to protect Tanzania's rich biodiversity from threats like deforestation and climate change. In the healthcare arena, the country is grappling with diseases such as malaria and HIV/AIDS, while also striving to improve access to quality healthcare services. Education, too, is a crucial area of focus, with initiatives aimed at boosting literacy rates and providing greater access to higher education. Cultural heritage preservation is a unique challenge for Tanzania, home to an array of diverse cultures and historical sites. Despite its challenges, Tanzania continues to strive for progress and development, building on its rich history and cultural heritage.